Hi there. Good evening, everyone. My name is Bill Warner, and I'm with EntreDot, as you probably already know. But we're going to talk about business advisors. Business advisors of, I would say, all kinds, lots of different ones, slightly differences in what they do and how they help. So I hope this is helpful. My message here tonight is have them. Have business advisors. Now, why the heck do you need to do that? Heck, you may be a serial entrepreneur, got 2 exits, may have failed a couple of times, but you got 6 companies under your belt. Why do you need an advisor? The answer to that is because you still don't know everything. Worse yet, you may even think you're pretty hot stuff and it's your way or the highway. That's a recipe for failure if I ever heard of one. So you got to be open to other points of view. So whether you're a first-time entrepreneur or a 17th-time entrepreneur, I would strongly advise you get advisors. I'm going to go through various kinds, but the need that they fulfill is provide you other perspectives that you may not appreciate or might not even see. People with varying different backgrounds from different industries, from different business disciplines, particularly the rapidly changing digital marketing landscape. And there's a new idea for advertising every day, it seems, and new technologies that move very fast and could change your business and give you new opportunities you didn't think about. There are people you could surround yourself with that have additional perspectives beyond your own. You want to know them. You want people that challenge your assumptions. They don't just take your baloney because you're the CEO and founder of the company. They ask you questions. They challenge your assumptions. That's an important thing to have around you. People that just not are yes people. Yes, George, you're smart, blah, blah, blah. We believe you. People that see things differently. Maybe it's another way of saying have other perspectives, but they also conclude things in a very different way than you do, or that you've thought of. These are people that can make connections. Your advisors in various forms should know a lot of people. They've been around a while. 15, 20, maybe 25 years or more. And their connections in whatever industry and whatever discipline may be of help to you. You want to tap into that. In fact, in some cases, you're going to count on it. If they've been in business for 20, 25 years, long in the tooth, kind of like me, they have a certain amount of wisdom. A lot of things have gone on. There's a lot of water that went under this bridge here that can be shared with you. Mistakes that were made, successes that were achieved, and why they can share with you. It's lessons for you to consider. If you need financing, there are mentors who have raised millions of dollars. They've raised money for grants, to the tens of millions of dollars that you want to tap into and learn how they did it and how they went about it and what contacts they have for getting more money. So that in a nutshell, and all of these advisor types that I'm going to take you through are the reason why you need advisors. So let's do the simplest one first. I call it a personal advisor. There are no contracts with this person, but they are business contacts, not just friends you play golf with. But they're business people. You don't have a contract with them. There are no formal arrangements for discussions, but they're really good people. These are probably people that are past business associates. You've shared in some successes together. They're industry veterans and have lots of connections. They may be a personal friend, and as a personal friend, they don't take any of your baloney. They talk straight, give you honest, straight from the shoulder kind of reaction to things. And that's what you want. That's what a personal advisor is able to do because they're personal friends. They may have lots of different business disciplines that they've participated in the course of their career. Sales and marketing and financing would be three of the top ones I want to have an advisor to help me with. They may be investors, and who know other investors. So these are informal relationships and people you can go to for advice at almost any time. There's no regular schedule for it. It's as needed. You go to these people that you know well, and they know you, and they're willing to help you. They don't charge you money. You'll say thank you. You may take them to lunch or dinner or something. Go to the bar and buy them a few beers or a martini or something. But this is kind of at the low end of formality of business advisors. These are people you know and trust to give you good straight arrow kind of advice. Okay, let's go to the other extreme. These are organized, formal advisory boards. There is an agreement between you and a board member, advisory board member. Now, don't confuse this with your board of directors. This is an advisory board. They have no fiduciary responsibility for your business, but they have. You can compensate them. Often the compensation is a small fraction of a share of stock in your company. They will perform tasks. In fact, when you take on an advisory board member, you're going to ask them to perform certain tasks. It's part of the deal to earn the stock. And they have responsibility to execute certain things to earn this stock. So this is a much more formal relationship. There'll be formal meetings that are done on a regular basis. There are going to be agendas for these meetings. There's going to be purpose for these meetings to talk about things about the company. So the advisory board is made up of a mixture of talents. It has diversity in that sense. You get this mixture of kinds of people. Think of it that way. Not necessarily just marketing people or technology people. It's what characteristic and what talent, innate talent, do they bring to the table? Let me give you some examples. Be nice to have on your advisory board some really creative person, successful one, an innovator who thinks about the art of the possible, where technology is taking us. Some people, they call them dreamers. So they think big, and they're pretty familiar with the goings on in the technology arena, but they're creative. You don't hand them a development plan and ask them to execute it, because they probably will fail at that miserably. That's not the kind of people they are. But they are really worth listening to. They keep you on your toes, keep you thinking forward. These are the people that will enlighten you about the train wreck that could occur 2 years from now, because technology is going to wipe you. Technology innovation is going to wipe out your current solution, and other competitors will come online that you don't even know yet, because they're not working on it yet. But you can be damn sure that somebody will be. You want people that can see that kind of thing. Visionaries. Okay, well, let's contrast this with another person who's kind of the pragmatist. Tops on bottoms, truth or false, asks tough questions, disbelieves everything until proven otherwise kind of person. Kind of a pain in the butt kind of person. But you want their inquisitiveness in your board. People that don't take things for granted. Just because your creative genius says something doesn't make it true to him or her. They want to know some facts. So a pragmatist. Look it up in the dictionary. I didn't before I wrote this script I'm going by, but I think I pretty well tagged this kind of person. Now here's a strange one for you. and I'm not trying to tell millennial jokes out of school here, but I call it someone with youthful foresight, someone in tune with what the up and coming markets, the 25 to 35-year-olds or whatever the millennial age group are future leaders. But while they're getting that way, they are coming up with great ideas and new demands on services from various kinds of companies. Their expectations are very different. So this kind of person is kind of an eye-opener of what kind of attitudes and norms are going to affect your markets because of the kinds of individuals that are young and bright and see things in new ways. You want to know how big a hunk of our population is rethinking the assumptions that we've made for, the 30 or 40 years we've been in business. You want that perspective on your board. So the next one is kind of the obvious one. You want a networker, or a connector, someone who's really well connected. So part of the advisory board is some industry veterans that are just incredibly well connected at the highest levels in the companies that make up your market. They know the CEOs because they've met them, they've done business with them, they know about their companies and played golf with them. So they know them personally. That's maybe a little bit of an overstatement, but pretty true. A connector, someone who can introduce you to others that will enhance your business, new partnerships, for example, and perhaps even more importantly, new customers that you have no idea how to reach, but they can simply introduce you. You have one or two people like that in your advisory board in the markets that you're in and in the industry within the market that you're going to go after, and the kinds of companies you want to sell to, all three of those kind of got to be true, that this person can take you to 2, 3, 4, 5 companies that fit that bill and make introductions, and you can proceed with the lead generation, qualification, sales process. Establish a relationship and sell them your goods. Based, all coming from this introduction from a trusted person. Connectors. I guess my final thought on these formal boards, the kind of characteristics you're looking for is you're trying to really get a good view of what the future holds and where you're headed in light of the collective thinking of people like this. Good mixture of people. And so it's a mixture of people with foresight, people with hindsight, people with lots of connections and lots of experience, and people that are pragmatists that just keep you straight arrow. That's it. So you probably have not heard a organized formal advisory board described this way. But it's important to have this mixture of people so you get these opposing viewpoints and arguments occur, and debates occur, and you can listen to it and learn from it. Okay, I've hammered that enough. The next form of advisor I call a mentor or mentors. They are probably compensated for their services, and modestly so. They don't take stock in your company. If they do, then they've lost their impartiality. You want a person who's impartial. And the relationship is somewhat formal. That is, there's an agenda going on here. So this person is a trusted individual, someone you already know and have probably known for a long time. They're a personal advisor. You meet with these people one-on-one, not in big gang, groups, doing group over things. This is one-on-one, getting advice, talking straight. This kind of person is going to ask you lots of questions. A mentor, if they're really good at it, don't tell you what to do. They suggest, recommend, but they more unlikely ask you a lot of questions that lead you in a certain direction, and that all said and done, after the inquisition of all these questions, you, the business owner, make decisions on what you're going to do next. And the mentor, listening to that and having satisfactory answer to his or her questions, is going to conclude that you really have thought it through or not. And the questions will bring out how well you've thought it through. So they don't tell you what to do, but they hold you accountable for the decisions you make. So you tell them the decisions you make, you tell them your business objectives and what you hope to achieve this year or this quarter. And the questioning is going to come back around to that always and say, how does this help you make the quarter revenue? How does this help you close contract with XYZ company by the end of the quarter? So they bring you back to what you said you were going to achieve. Now you can change your objectives any damn time you want, but you kind of let your mentor know. You'll get some questions about that as to, well, why are you changing? What's new here? So the mentor knows your objectives. It's important that they do that and hold you accountable for it. And it's important that they hold their impartiality. That's necessary for them to be credible with you. If they have private lesser goals like making money on your stock or have a $10,000 a month contract with you as a consultant, their impartiality is harmed thereby. So now you got to filter their advice based upon their motivations for financial reward. That's a mentor. Now, these are unique individuals. They practice mentoring / coaching techniques, but they're important to you to be successful. This next kind of a advisor I call go-to people, the go-to people in my life. Now, these are people that have lots of experience in business and you have worked with them in the past. They could be friends, but it's not necessary. They could be business associates. There aren't contracts with them, but they have tasks that they can perform for you. You could turn them into a consultant for special tasks, but they are a little bit more formal than the personal advisors I mentioned at the beginning. But these are people that you always go to when something needs to get done because you know they know how to do it. And simple examples are gaining an understanding of a certain market. You engage with one of these go-to people to help you understand it better or to assess a particular competitor. You give them things to do and you pay for it. So that's where a contract comes in. They could be marketing geniuses and have done marketing work for you before. So they're going to give you great advice about marketing and they can actually execute it even better to figure out your strategy and actually do it. They could be sales consultants. So the go-to people are the people you have worked with for a substantial part of your career, and they have done good work for you, and they've helped make you successful. Perhaps they're financing experts. They know how to raise money. So if you need equity investment for your next round of financing, they may have the contacts and the know-how to actually do it for you. Now, that's a little bit strong. They don't do it for you because you as the CEO of your company have got to be the one to represent the company, but the person can be brought on that is your left arm and making sure that you've got all your ducks in a row. You got a plan that supports what you're saying, and you've got a set of terms you're going to be asking for that are quite sensible. This person has a lot of experience in equity financing. Or you may want a loan, a business loan. That could be range from loans from private individual, loans from non-regulated banks, or you're up and running company and you got 2-3 years of financials behind you, you can borrow money, a line of credit, substantial line of credit depending on how much profit you've got. Grant financing is a big deal for lots of tech companies. These SBIR grants, stages 1 and 2, you can get upwards to, $800,000-900,000. So I've heard as high as 1.1 to 1.3 million in a stage 2 SBIR grant. So there are people that could perform the magic of writing these grant applications. They know all the buzzwords and know how to put things. They know how to fill out these applications. So these go-to people are paid for specific tasks and they're people that you've had experience with for years. And you trust them because you know they do good work. Go-to people. A little bit different than a personal advisor that isn't paid and you go to for advice now and then. Okay, those are the kinds of advisors you should be considering, and what they do and what the relationship looks like and feels like when you engage them. Now, all of these advisors are good for now, but your needs will change as you grow and as you expand into other markets, as new competitors come at you from left field or center field, and in new ways. New technologies are emerging. The regulatory landscape is about to kill you. The environmental regulations or regulatory in the finance industry, regulatory restrictions. So your needs for advisors will change, and that could impact your list of personal advisors as well as your go-to people. You may have to get some new go-to people, but your advisory board could change substantially. So for the advisory board, don't have long-term contracts. Have 1 year, maybe 2, where they're on board and have committed to certain objectives to help you meet. But you renew their contracts if you still need them. If you don't, you let them go, thank them very much, give them their stock, and then bring in other advisory board members. Now, again, I have not mentioned at all and won't your fiduciary board of directors. I'm not talking about that at all. These are much less formal without any fiduciary responsibility, particularly when it comes to the advisory board. So with that, I'm going to wrap it up. And I see I do have one question, which I think I just answered is, well, how long does an advisory board last? Well, it lasts as long as you want it to, and as long as it's useful. And you don't make long-term, multi-year commitments for your advisory board members. It's 1 and 2 years, and you either extend them or let them go. They will, if they've worked with you a year or two, they become go-to people, or they may become, personal advisors, like I mentioned. So even though they're no longer perhaps on your advisory board, they are people that you will continue to work with, perhaps for the remainder of your career. That's the kind of relationships that get established here. So that's it for the questions for now. I hope this was helpful. Again, I'm Bill Warner. This is Monday Night Live with EntreDot. I've enjoyed talking to you. Have a great evening.